Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back into Infinity Broadcasting, and welcome into the Racekraft Simulations V8 Veterans action for Season 26, Round 4 this evening at Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, as we go racing for the Split 2 action to end out the Bin the Blade for Balin Foundation round this season. Hamish Munro here with you alongside Brett Fisher as always. Brett, we come into tonight's race with a little bit of pressure on the championship, with a different championship leader leading the way coming into tonight's race as well, and a bit of bragging rights on the line as the weather gods have turned it on a little bit for us. And well, Brett, I'll be honest with you, I'm a bit wet coming into tonight's race.
Okay. Very good. Yes, it is. Well, the track is wet. It's thrown a bit of a curveball. Well, not really a curveball. Everyone knew it was going to happen or something. But, I mean, across each of the splits, it was a bit varied. So it's going to be a bit of a soup tonight. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with on-track action coming to you very soon.
Indeed, we have qualifying to come, and then through the 200k race here this evening as well. Last time out, we were out at Watkins Glen Cup Circuit for round 3, where a lot of spanners have been thrown in the works this season now for the championship. Of course, to go racing tonight, 43 laps, 200k's around Catalunya for the Bin the Blade for Balin Foundation round this season. We'll give more information on that later on in the show. But it's great to have you all with us once again, of course. And what a race it was last time out at Watkins Glen, Brett. It was short, very, very short, went by very, very quickly.
Yep.
Tonight's race, I don't think it's going to go by as quickly, but that variable weather's always a factor. Will it be wet at the start of the race? Who will take wet tyres? Who will take dries? And how wet is it going to be? Right now, looking at the radar, or from what I saw on the radar, the rain's going to be stopped by the time we get to qualifying. So the track could be dry enough at the start to start the race on dry tyres, and depending how long the race goes, we may see the rain again come at the end of it. But that's going to have, that's going to be dependent on safety cars and how long we go running. But I mean, Catalunya has a pretty low chance of safety cars, the amount of runoff. So we may not even see much weather variation in the skies tonight comparatively to the other 3 splits thus far.
How interesting though, practice was fairly wet, a lot of rain, but they didn't really form puddles. And then, pardon me, going into qualifying, like it just threw that little question mark. Shall I go to dry? Shall I stay in wets? Like I thought it was still wet territory. But it'd be interesting to see if anyone takes that chance and tries to run on dries, But then, after that, head out to warm up, see what the track's like, and then see where you're going to start, wets or dries, So interesting to see what's going to play.
Well, it's often a struggle trying to figure it out. We've already gone wet racing for 4 seasons now since the Gen 3 car came out. The first time we went wet race driving was out at Interlagos back in season 23. Season 24 we went out to Circuit de Jerez, and then last season we were out at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg, and so now for the 4th time we're back in Spain again for more wet weather. It doesn't really feel like Spanish weather though, does it, Brett, to have rain at Barcelona?
Maybe we're just unlucky.
Maybe we are. Who knows? Current point standings as follows, though. Gary Buckland on a perfect 500 points at the moment. Yet to win a race this season, but is sitting at the top of the point standings ahead of Joel Oosterwal in P2 on 485. Chris Blanchard in P3 on 464, and then Brett Fisher in P4 in the standings on 450. That must be a mistake, Brett, surely.
Stop it.
That must be a mistake.
It must be. Yeah, something's going wrong
there. 2 points ahead of Scotty Weston in P5 on 451 points. Damon Fisher is now losing to Brett Fisher in the standings on 449 points. Stephen Kokoschki in P7 on 443. Reece Degoe, Brett Taylor and Simon Heddersheet are currently making up our top 10 in the title race. Thus far this season, 3 different race winners from 3 last time out. It was Chad Weiger who won the race and won one of our wild cards as a race winner and as a driver of the day winner as well. So congratulations, Chad, to last week for the M1 News Cars driver of the day. We'll see how it goes to tonight and who the chat decides as well. But I'm very excited for tonight's race, of course. Catalunya has been through a couple of track changes in recent memory. We are running the old Grand Prix layout here tonight. And, well, for what we can look at here is the modern-day Barcelona circuit here in the Catalonia region of Spain. As we trickle our way on down, we'll see both variants overlaid each other, so you can get a comparison for what is the modern variant of the circuit which was the repurposed historic circuit, and then now the old Grand Prix circuit that we're running tonight, which is the old or now historic circuit. It'll all start on the main straight up towards turn 1 at Elf and up through turn 2 and through Renault at turn 3. Little switchback section early, good for passing opportunities, but early opportunity for mistakes to happen as well. So drivers will need to be careful down there, especially in these greasy conditions. The car wants to get loose through the corner. Want to try and ride curbs as much as you can, but especially in these conditions early in the race, Brett, you want to avoid the curbs as much as possible. So for some drivers out there, they'll say, hey, it's fine, we can run on the curbs early. Well, no, you can't. You're going to end up in the gravel trap if you're not careful. Then up towards Repsol at turn 4, most famous moment that's ever happened here is more than likely the incident between Lewis Hamilton and Nico Rosberg back in the 2016 Spanish Grand Prix, where Max Verstappen was going to win his very first of many Grand Prix in his first race for Red Bull Racing. Then down towards Sayat at turn 5, through turn 6 and back up the hill again at TV3 for turn 7 and 8, up towards Kempsey for turn 9 and down the back straight, which would be the second DRS zone of this track if we were running Formula 1 cars here this weekend. Down toward La Caixia, well, turn 10, that's not the format of turn 10 that we're running tonight. That's the newer version of it, which runs down and low past the Circuit de Barcelona logo, which the MotoGPs and Formula 1s abundantly run now. We're running the old variant. You can see the bit of tarmac there, just to the left of the Circuit de Barcelona logo, where you kind of come up nice and tight and then tuck back in again at turn 11. Then we're up through Bank Sabadell at turn 12, and we're not running Europe Car 13 tonight, where they modern run today to get a much better run. We're actually running, in my opinion, Brett, the horrendous final chicane here, where turn 13 tucks down on the old part of the circuit, and then through turn 14 and 15, the very, very tight chicane. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. And then down through turn 16 at New Holland at the final corner on the circuit as well. Got to be careful of pit entry here tonight. It's a very, very tough one. If you have a spin in pit entry as well, you can easily block the circuit. Pit exit's not too bad. You come right out off the racing line. You can get up to speed pretty easily. And you can even defend position pretty easily as well if you time your exit to pit lane pretty well for yourself there, Brett.
Yeah, and pit exit is probably one of the better pit exits we have had. I mean, there's been some horrendous pit exits that we have had in recent times, and it's probably a bit more casual, that one, as you come out. So, but you're right on the getting in pit lane, especially how it wouldn't have a huge amount of traffic. So you got to be careful there. It might be still a little bit wet and slippery.
Very well may be, especially if there's no dry line that's formed. This circuit, though, actually relatively young in the span of European circuits. It was only opened back in 1991 here in Montmeló, Barcelona, in Spain. 4.7 k's, 2.9 miles. We're running the 16 corner layout tonight. 16 corner layout tonight. The 14 layout that we would modern run on the regular Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. Clockwise orientation, of course, for what is a tremendous racing circuit in the world of world racing through MotoGP and Formula 1 as well. It's a circuit that was once used for F1 testing for many, many years too. And for a lot of racing fans out there, this is an old favourite. I am under the impression, though, Brett, that the Spanish Grand Prix should have stayed at Jerez. I think in the modern cars, though, Barcelona is the much better choice. It's especially much better choice than the Mad Ring that is the Madrid street circuit. They've called it the Madring. That's certainly a name.
That's definitely a name.
That's certainly a name. Whether it's a good one or not, that's up for other people to decide going forward. Into qualifying we go, though, as everyone gets themselves prepared for the first run here on what was previously a very, very wet Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. We'll see how drivers, and you can see the spray already. But it's very low spray, Brett. So I think because of this low spray, and in fact, just to kind of talk about it for a second here, so the way that the rain clouds were moving and the way that the rain was actually moving, it was moving towards the bottom end of the circuit. So it was towards turn 16 in the main straight. So that should be the wettest part of the whole circuit. The tougher part of the whole circuit, at the top end from obviously turn 3 all the way around to turn 15 and 16, should be relatively dry by now because of the dry line that'll start to form. So this part here, where you'd want wets more so than the main part, you should be okay if you have started on dries. It might take a couple laps to get some temperature into them, but once the temp's into the dries, they're going to be lightning fast across what would be sector 2 and the end of on this beginning of sector 3. Here at Barcelona. I think this is the crucial part where you want it, and I think having it at this part of qualifying, or even in the race, it's going to pay you dividends. But let's be real, Brett, it's going to be a race of attrition. Stay clean in the first 10 laps, and you'll get yourself some bog positions.
And I mean, we can see a slight dry line, I think, out there at the moment. We were very lucky not to have pooling. We see our mate there just heading off into the ice skating rink.
That was Simon Heddersheet. So that's one thing drivers will have to be careful of tonight. So we can see the dry line that's forming, Brett, as you're... Actually, we're on board with you right now. You completely missed the dry line there through turn 12.
Yeah, hey.
but that's one thing the drivers will need to be careful of tonight is not only the painted sections off the circuit, i.e. the big Circuit de Barcelona logos or the sponsor logo as well, but that AstroTurf, that bright green AstroTurf. You see it there on either side of the track. Avoid it for your life. Avoid the curbs for your life, because that AstroTurf and those painted sections of off-track are going to be like ice. It is going to be like an ice rink out there. You're not going to get any grip, and you're going to end up further away than what you normally would in the driest of conditions as the first laps are beginning to start now. It shouldn't be as bad on the grass, Brett, as it is on those sections. It's still going to be bad, but it shouldn't be as bad. But I think that's where the natural loss of attrition is going to be early, is drivers taking too much curb, clipping AstroTurf, and ending up with the rear end of the car spun around the wrong way.
What am I doing out there? That was a very wide line.
Put on a drift show, Brett. You got to ride out sideways at the moment.
Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Same again. What are you doing out there? What a clown!
Absolute clown. We can actually see some of the spray within the wheel well here on some of these sections, but this section is a bit drier at the mid part of the circuit as well. It's a great little section here. You come back down the hill through turn 5, through turn 6, and then you're straight back up it again at 7 and 8. It almost feels like a midway through a roller coaster. But you're just tiptoeing this car around at the moment. I mean, you're tickling the throttle. Throttle curve and throttle mapping, very important, obviously, in these wet conditions. Some people go for a progressive throttle and stick with 3 or 4.
Some people put it out in the green.
Some people go for a progressive throttle and go with 1. Some people go with a linear throttle and stay with 3 and 4. Some even run at 5 or 6. It just depends on their preference for their throttle settings and even their steering settings as well. I do think that the less movement you can make on the wheel, the better it's going to be for you, because it's going to be easier for you to catch the wheel, obviously. So having your wheel settings correct and your turning circle correct is going to be crucial. Oh my God, Brett, you are sending it through there at turn 14 or turn 13. Through 14 and 15 we go.
I'm cringing myself.
Down
what
through
have I done,
turn
mate? What have I done?
16.
Oh, got through there a little bit on the ripple.
You've done well.
We're
Off
going to come
exit.
out. Oh, a little bit on there too.
What's
What's he done?
What's the line? It's a 202.7 to go.
Not
He's gone
fantastic. He's gone
202.5.
faster.
But you know what, though? A solid time early. And that's going to be the hardest part, is getting the banker in and getting a fast banker in. Because more than likely, some drivers may make mistakes here in qualifying as the first lap times are beginning to come in now. Here in the qualification process. Scotty Weston, back end of his lap at this stage. He's inside of the top 5 in the championship. First time in a long time that he's been up there by round 4 in a championship. So that's a great effort from Scotty. We spoke about his progression last season, Brett, how much better he's been getting. In the early part of this season, cool, calm, collected, and consistent is Scott Weston. And it's been paying dividends for him very early on.
Scott Weston, the man who's chilled.
Well, not really. He lives in Perth, so he'd be rather warm, actually, right now.
He's hot and chilled.
Yeah, well, hot and chilled.
Yeah.
So he's tepid.
I'll move on. It'd be interesting to know if anyone actually tried slick tyres.
I would argue maybe the majority.
On wets.
I think we're right on crossover.
Yeah.
I think we're right on the crossover.
Which was interesting. Yeah, it was interesting, because I'd say maybe some people, change to dries in the latter part once they got a time down. Maybe. I don't know. It'd be interesting to see in the chat if anyone's got some...
It's good to see that some drivers remembered to not change their paint before the broadcast.
Yeah.
Unfortunate to see that others didn't remember that they should wait until Sunday to do it, because we want to be able to show them off as best we can.
All those Balin liveries.
Yep, in support of
fantastic job.
The Balin Foundation. You know, poor young Balin, he would have been 21 this year. And, you know, it's a very heartbreaking story. We've spoken about it at length across the many years that obviously we've been doing Split 2, but then also across all the splits this weekend as well. If you guys want to help support the cause, go to binthebladeforbalin.org. It is linked in the description of every single one of the Split 2 broadcast streams, so you can find it there anytime you wish. and go help support the Stewart family of Michael Stewart and Kerry Ann as well. And not just that, but obviously sport's such a great cause to try and end youth knife crime. Of course, here in Victoria and Melbourne, we've had horrendous, obviously, blade crime as of late in the latter half of last year with machetes, and then, can tuck that in with knife crime as well. So it's a massive thing at the moment. It's a massive pressure on some people out there as well. As Boardman goes to P22. Kiddis has now gone to the top 202.34. And just help support this cause, and because it is such a great cause, and it is such a great reason to support it as well, is at least in the current landscape of youth crime. It hits home pretty hard, especially for us here in Victoria. Kokoschki now goes to the top 201.77. That's a great lap time from him. Weston, I think, might be on dries. He looks pretty pacey at the moment, and I think it is starting to swing the way of the slick tyre here, Brett. But yeah.
Let us know in the chat if you were on dries or or wets, just so we can get some sort of perspective, because it'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, unfortunately, when we're in a replay file, the timing software does not give us the tyre.
Damn you, iRacing!
No, it's not the iRacing's fault. Actually, it's the timing software's fault. They don't give us the tyre compounds. So damn you, SDK.
Software.
The Scott Weston of EWT is trying to push this thing to its absolute limits right now on the back end of the circuit. He's got about half a lap to go as he's pushing on. I mean, dogs are getting excited at the prospect of Scotty Weston getting a lap in. I don't know. Someone must be home. I'm going to shut the door because
Mr. Weston, I was on slicks in quali. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, okay, cool. So, yeah, like you were saying, it's right on that crossover where, and I was unsure. I really didn't know. I was probably, and it was probably by the time you got a bit of heat into the tyre on you, in the later stage, I don't know whether I trusted myself on the dries, just for getting a bit too excited. Maybe I thought, just interesting how and Gary Buckland saying he's on slicks as well. So interesting to see, a good bit of mix there.
Scotty Weston has gone straight to the top, 201.42 in his final attempt in qualifying. That is a phenomenal lap for Scott Weston. Shane Randall up to P4. He was on slicks as well. So it is definitely slick tyre weather now. Now that they're up to temperature, Phil Manuel up to P4 now, 202.1. So there's a lot of pace in these slick tyres once they're up to temperature. That's going to be the dangerous part, though, Brett. Is early on in the race, you go offline onto the wet part of the circuit. You're going to have no grip as Oosterval is drifting it into the braking zone at turn 7.
And I think that's the danger, isn't it? Like if you go to... there he goes again. Oh, he's been a madman. If you go... Oh, he's just putting on a drift session now. Definitely. Hold on to it, son. If you go onto slicks in the qual, you've got to make sure you stay on that racing line. So, and that's where I think, I was probably a little bit skeptical whether I could stay on that tram track pushing hard. But, hey, I wasn't unhappy with where I started anyway.
Well, as
some good times out there.
Everyone's getting ready for the warm-up. We're going to skip right past it and go straight to our race start here this evening as well. Big thank you to everyone who's out there with us already here tonight. We'll run through your names momentarily out in the chat. Starting grid, though, for tonight's race will be as follows. Scott Weston will start on pole position for East West Tasmania Racing alongside Synergy Sim Racing, Stephen Kokoschki on the front row. Ron Allen and Damon Fisher will start on the second row with Phil Manuel and Shane Randall inside of the top 6. Alex Kiddis, Mick Clifton will then make up the top 8 ahead of Craig Friend and Reece DeGoey for our top 10 here this evening. Joel Oosterval and Brett Fisher will start inside of the top 12 as we will have a quick look back to the 7th row of the grid for Bruce Tannock and Scott McCune ahead of Halil Cesar in the top 15, Jeremy Bush, Brett Taylor ahead of Chad Viger, Paul Burns and Matt Stores for our top 20, Michael Jones, Ben Brook, Brett Horsell and Matthew Monday will make up our top 24 cars with Simon Hedeshee, Peter Baxter, Chris Blanchard, Rick Viger, Sean Cullen and Derek Lovegrove for the top 30. James Baldwin will start P31 ahead of championship leader Gary Buckland in P32 with Scott McKenzie at the back end of the field. Roy Clark, Andrew Hoffman, Todd Duggan will all start at the back end of town. Brenton O'Brien, Todd Martin, Lucas Burt, our race controllers here this evening. Gary Buckland has some work to do. He has some work to do.
And there you go. Like Gary started on slicks, qualified on slicks. Scotty Weston qualified on slicks. Just that little bit of a mistake, obviously, here and there, it's going to gobble you up. So for those drivers who actually, got their pinpoint accuracy down and got a good lap in, it worked. But, if you slightly mucked it up. Now, this start's going to be interesting because the track is still drying. There is going to be a wet line around certain parts of the track. So it'd be interesting little start, see how we get off the grid as well.
Well, the EWT Racing Camaro with Scott Weston will start on pole position for the first time in the Gen 3 era. This may even be Scotty's first ever pole position in Split 2. I'm happy to be corrected, though. I believe it is the first time since leaving the team of Type N Esports. This may be Scott's first time on pole, but the GMK Logistics driver is ready and able to strike this thing off the front row at a moment's notice. It's a great job for Scotty. This is kind of proving the point of improvement that he's made the last sort of season or so, and now it's paid off for him with a pole position here tonight.
Yeah, well done, Scotty. Well earned. Crowd getting excited. I'm excited.
Everyone's
Hope you're all excited
and ready for tonight's race. We've had quite a few chats out there already here tonight. You were out there early, Brett, getting the punters lined up. Wayne Sanderson's with us, Brett Horsell as well, Phil Manuel, Damon Fisher, Scotty Weston's with us, Gary Buckland as well. As we get prepared, Nathan Ferrer, Rick Viger's in the chat too, as lights are going to go up for the drivers. Maximum pressure time, round 4. Here at Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya, it's green flag and it's a hot start from Weston. A horrid start for Kokoschki off the front row. Ron Allen, Damon Fisher have already made gains. Phil Manuel's running through as well. He jumped about 3 or 4 spots as we run it down to turn 1 for the first time. Can we keep it clean? Can we keep it mean? And can we keep it on the road? Yes, we can for Weston. Can the rest of them keep it on the road down there as the scramble begins in the greasy conditions of Barcelona?
Yeah, I mean, that start showed exactly what I was thinking, that the people on the right-hand side of the track definitely, we've got a car off there.
Yep, that's Matt
Monday.
That
is
Matt
Monday
is off the road.
You could see people on the wet side of the track definitely got a shocking start, and as opposing to the people on the left-hand side of the track on the dry line. And we got Todd Duggan around. Chaos going down the back.
Ron Allen got so loose then. Phil Manuel, who was one of the early championship favourites, caught up in that one too. Had some bad luck last week at Watkins.
Thank goodness.
With a power round edge at the worst of times.
He's actually done well then to actually take that car off track. We often talk about holding the brakes, but I think that was the right decision for him there to get that car moving away from there. Otherwise, I think there would have been a bigger incident to follow.
Well, Kiddis and Friend, the teammates looking to work together here. Tanek wants to move on the inside of Randall. Down towards turn 10. Gets himself absolutely overextended and gets his ankles broken in towards that corner. And now he's lost it on the painted section. That icy section again. As a round goes, that was Phil Manuel again in the wars.
Phil Manuel again, he's had a shocker for the first lap.
Quite a few cars around. I think that was Scott McCune as well.
Doesn't look like anyone has got major damage at the moment, so everyone's got away with it so far, but definitely had a big shuffle in pack. Look at Scotty Weston. He is just bolting.
Yep.
That is a massive
bolted away
launch,
and this has
for the first lap.
Worked out to perfection for him. 4.5 seconds is now the gap. Back to Damon Fisher, although Alex Kiddis wants to go at him here down towards turn 1. Going to get it done well before the braking zone.
Going to get it done. Mr. Blinking.
Yeah,
Mr. Blinker.
Blinky Damon is... Hopefully that doesn't become an issue for him throughout this race or any other driver out there, but this is going to make it tough now for Craig Friend to get past if it is that consistent.
Craig Friend has been motoring along fairly fast too in the last couple of rounds, so he's going to want to probably do something fairly quickly here. DeGoey also. So with these between Fisher and DeGoey, not much of a gap there, so these guys are pretty lively here. On Blinky Bill again. Here he goes.
Well, there's some big gainers already off the back end of lap 1 into the top 10. Halil Cesar up 8 positions now, tucked up behind his teammate. Reese DeGoey, Craig Friend, Alex Skidis all up 5. Fisher's up 1. Brett, you're up 3 at the moment into P9, and Joel Oosterwald's gone up 1 as well into P10 at this stage. Everyone else started in the 10. They've remained in the 10. That Mick Clifton, Shane Randall, and Scotty Weston at this point as well. Kokoschke, that's a big loser off of the start-finish line.
Yeah,
down
that's
10
unfortunate.
positions by the end of lap 1. Yep.
He just went absolutely nowhere. And a lot of those cars on that, as I said, on that wet line, really struggled to get the car hooked up and away. So that's just unfortunate. But that's what we get. Oh, he just, he has rotated it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Watch
Just
the
probably trying to push a bit
rejoin.
hard.
Yep. Comes out right ahead of Matt Stoyles. There's a good example, actually, the EWT bin the blade for Balin car. There we go. There's the special.
Scotty
livery for
Weston
those
did
guys.
apologise too. He just
That's
forgot
okay,
all
Scotty.
about that, but that's all right.
That's all good, Scotty.
We got
It's
you,
all good.
Scotty. We got you.
We got
You got pole position. You can do anything you want.
Yeah, pretty much. He can show off however he wants. He got pole.
Yeah,
That's a win
yeah.
in itself for Scotty, but nah, it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good, Scotty.
Yeah,
no worries
no.
at all. At this stage as well, there's some big gainers just outside the 10-2. So Ben Brooks
was that
currently up
Kokoschke
10.
in, was it?
Yeah, Kokoschke's in.
Kokoschke in.
So first stop for him, no safety car. So this is a green stop. It is a CPS stop. And it will count towards his CPS here tonight. That total amount of fuel needed across the 2 stops was roughly, I believe, about 57 litres or so. So that was for an even split there, as Fisher is still blinking out up here because Randall, Friend and DeGoey were just gaining position then.
Now, I do have some, finish what you were saying then, sorry. Cut you off. What a rude bugger I am.
I just realised, though, that Scotty Weston's now dropped down to P2 because he's touched that dreaded AstroTurf and it's dropped him out of the race lead.
Wow, he had that massive lead too.
Well,
He would be giving himself an uppercut.
It shows how quickly you can lose so much by one
Yeah,
mistake
yeah.
in these conditions tonight. The track looks dry. Trust me, anything that's not the black stuff, it's like
Yeah.
it is legitimately like ice. Like the only way we could really show it off to you is if we color corrected the outside of the circuit to be just pale white or blue. Say, don't go here. Stay
Don't go
where
here,
it's
yeah,
where it's
yeah.
black.
But it's interesting. You can see there is that obviously that definite dry line happening there, and you can see guys just down on that straight there, just popping out, and you can see on the left hand side of the car, big spray of water. So yeah, in braking zones and things like that, you've still got to be careful of stepping too far out of that line.
Well, there's a couple of our big gainers back here inside of the top 20 now. Rick Viger up 12. James Boardman, who we mentioned earlier, started right at the back of the field tonight, is already up 14 by avoiding some of those early incidents. Andrew Hoffman's done the same. He's also up 14 tonight as Ron Allen has compacted his issues, and he's actually ended up on the historic circuit on the extended turn 10 section. Careful of the painted section. It's like ice. And he's managed to keep it going nicely, so that's worked out well for him.
Yeah, I was just going to say some breaking news on Blinky Bill. I believe that in the next 4 to 6 weeks he might be getting fibre.
So what you're saying is, for the rest of the season, avoid Damien Fisher at all costs.
But he's... but no, I believe he's getting a proper internet connection, so that should be, hopefully, once he gets his new, as he blinks out there into the realm of nowhere, we should hopefully see a lot more of him on the actual track and not disappearing into the realm.
You see as well, there's been a change position between teammates here. Says has now gone past Randall, who's looking to hold up Mick Clifton, Self Brett and Joel Eastwell. Great start to the season for Randall. He's the 2 rounds that he's raced thus far at Adelaide and at Watkins last week. Has finished in the top 5 in both rounds thus far this season.
He's starting to do what he needs to do, doesn't he?
Exactly right.
Isn't he? And
on the flip side of that coin, Halil Cesar, his teammate, has probably had the worst start to a split 2 season he's had in a long time. A lot of bad luck early. Not going to be a contender this season for the championship, let's be honest. But he can use it as a reset season to get himself prepped for next.
And this is him coming back down from split 1 too, isn't it? So
it is indeed.
So he's probably, he'd be disappointed with where he's heading at the moment on that.
Well,
car
that's
around.
Matt Stoyles. Matt Stoyles is around, and I think Brett Taylor is as well. Where is he? Oh, no, that is Brett Taylor. Sorry, that is Brett Taylor.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yep, I forgot they were teammates. You know what it was, Brett?
What?
It's the different livery. I'm so used to seeing Brett with that green on his car. that I wasn't prepped for it.
Well, you're lucky you can actually pick up those finer details. I'm struggling to do that even sometimes. But anyway, we'll get there.
We got on the Over in the Infinity Broadcasting channel as well, Joe Dyson from all the way over in the US has joined us as well. Hello, Joe. Great to have you in here. I was chatting to him earlier today. Joe's actually of age to race in vets if he wanted to. Unfortunately, Brett, he works late nights, which is when he would have to go racing with us, as good old Jeff Eddy's done before here with us as well. Joe being in the on the eastern side of the US, he'd have to get up at Sparrow's Fart to come racing with us on a Thursday, but unfortunately he works at that time, so he can't, but he would love to if he could.
I wonder what a Sparrow's Fart would sound like. It'd be pretty small, wouldn't it? Alex Kiddis out in front by 6 seconds. He's absolutely... Do you like how I just, kind of ignored myself then? He's actually cruising right out in front at the moment. He's actually putting a bigger gap on the field there at the moment. So he's just off doing his own thing and enjoying himself while Scotty Weston unfortunately lost that lead. Pardon me. And he's now... That's pretty wild.
That's real wild.
He's going to be... And here comes to Goey.
He wants it up the inside of Fisher. Hope that he doesn't disappear on you like David Copperfield. And he's got the job done.
Oh, Damon's out of
Craig! Oh, no! Fisher got loose. Friend off the road.
Yeah, that's going to hurt. That is going to hurt. And I think Damon was actually off track when he came back on and spun the car a little bit, so he's probably going to have a bit of a spanking coming from...
I think that'll be a traversal through pit lane for Mr. Fisher there.
Yeah, unfortunate.
And it is unfortunate, Brett, because, of course, these are his, prime time conditions. He is a water type, being that he is a fish. So we would expect him to be pretty swift tonight. You're pretty swift tonight, Brett. You got the flippers running pretty... at full pace right now. So
the fins are out.
The fins are out. The gills are gilling as well. They're working well. So these are prime fish conditions.
I enjoyed the conditions. I was quite happy, actually comfortable.
Of course you did, Brett. Yeah. You live in the ocean.
I've felt at home.
Exactly right. It's like if we weren't racing at the aquarium.
Yeah. But, have a look at this little battle pack. It is great. From Western down to... Damon disappears again, so hopefully we can't wait for that to get sorted out. To Clifton, so that's a great little battle pack up front there.
We're getting our hours in of blinking Damon before it goes away.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
And even back further, so Friend, who unfortunately, just had that incident then, so he's just in slightly in front of Tannick and Viger. Stoyles, so there's a nice little pack there, and then back to Blanchard, Boardman, Bush and Heddersheed. There's another little battle pack there as well.
Yeah, also this one here between championship leader Gary Buckland and Sean Cullen. Gary's up 11 spots tonight, but he's got to make up a lot more as the silent assassin to get his way to the top end of town if he wants to try and maintain the lead of that championship over Joel Oosterwald and Chris Blanchard, who he's currently losing to here tonight. Blanchard's up 12 into the top 15. And at this stage, Oosterwald's been in for his first pit stop already. He's back down in P29, so he's taking an early stop, taking some track position. I don't mind the strategy, Brett. Should work out pretty well for him. We'll see where he ends up at the end of the pit stop cycle. But again, this gets him into clean air, gets him into free space. No pressure on him. He can just push on and set some cracking lap times back here and just hope that he sticks it on the road like glue. As we continue on, lap 7 of 43 right now. Alex Kiddis, the race leader by 8.4 seconds. Yet to take a race win in Split 2, mind you. Last season when he was an early championship contender, remember, he went on that run of pole positions at the first half of the season and never took a race win. His best chance last season, ironically, Brett, was Watkins Glen, where we were last week. And now tonight, it's ironic, isn't it? He's not in the championship fight at the moment, although with drop rounds, who knows where he'll be. Well, prior to the drop rounds, he's not in the championship fight. If he were to win tonight, it puts a little bit of irony on it, doesn't it?
Yeah, certainly does. But, season's not over yet. I know he might not be right up there in the fight, but you never know what. Osterwald's just gone. Osterwald has just done the fastest lap of the race of 1:52.845. I think that is in purple.
Yes, it is indeed.
We have a look. 8:46. Yep. So that's a good time. He's on a heater.
He's on a heater, and he's got clean air, 7.2 seconds up to the next car on the road being Stephen Kokoschki, and then Michael Jones is next ahead of him, who's yet to actually take a pit stop here this evening. Kokoschki is the top-seeded driver to have a stop here tonight. Phil Manuel's already come in, so is Chad Weiger as well. So we'll see how this pays off for those guys. Monday's been in, Duggan's been in, but those guys have been in the wars. Lovegrove currently in pit lane as well. McCune's also been in, as Mackenzie gets past last week's race winner in Chad Weiger. Oh, if I was Chad, I wouldn't be very happy with that, because that looked to me like Mackenzie came past, and as he came in the braking zone, he just tucked it right ahead of him and parked the car right in the braking line of Chad Weiger. Then I don't know about that one.
Leave that one for race control.
Yeah, we'll leave that up to the stewards.
Sees Weston. Cesar sort of having attack on Weston at the moment. Can he get this done? First part of that
up
done.
The inside. Yep. So Halil Cesar now up onto the podium. We know that he's a bit of a rain master. Won back at Jerez 2 seasons ago in his championship-winning season, and in season 23, prior to that, P2 at Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache in our very first wet race running, where it was won on the day by Sean Vandermeulen in that season, and had a great race in that one, and then again backed it up the season after at Jerez for his first wet race win, as Mick Clifton, he's gone off the road here.
Off track, yeah.
Yep, so that's a bit wide for him as he continues on.
So you can see it's still, it's still a bit wild out in there, certain parts of the track. You've still got to sort of thread that needle a bit and make sure you get the car exactly where you want it. Not necessarily slight off the rails, as you see, there's starting to use the ripples and stuff like that now, but you can see there's still a couple of sections on the track that are a little bit dicey, so you get yourself out of shape too far and you're going to suffer the consequences.
Well, Ben Bork, this will be a great resurgence for his season. He's not in championship contention, but he is at the back end of the point standings at the moment, so a good injection of points tonight could resurge him forward and give proud, give a proud moment for him, not just, but also just give him a little kick up the bum and just, be a nice little confidence boost if he can get himself some good points tonight. This would be an impressive finish if he could get this car inside of the top 10. He hasn't been in the top 10 for a fair while here in Split 2, but we know that Ben's got some good pace about him. Been in the series for a long time, been a part of this Frog Leap Juice racing team for a long time as well, as Damon Fisher is into pit lane. Now, is this for a stop or is this for a drive-through? It's going to be for a drive-through, methinks. It is indeed for that moment with Chad Weiger. And again, hard ass to go out to Chad. Wrong place, wrong time, sitting duck. And for Damon, very, very simple mistake with no malice behind it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things, unfortunate. I mean, look, Damon's had some pretty good. He's had some pretty good pace. He just hasn't been able to, put the whole shoot match together. So hopefully, as we talked about before, getting a bit of it. Oh, that's a lot of wheel work there. He's got it. Hopefully, once he gets that sorted out, he might be able to, stabilise and push forward a bit.
You can see a little Cesar is just starting to break away from Scotty Weston now. 1.4 seconds is the gap back to the pole sitter tonight, Scott Weston, for the little Cesar to go about 4.8 seconds to chase down on Reese to go up ahead of him. We know the Kiwis are often fast in these wet conditions. And yes, I know the joke is normally it's because they have wet roads and they're used to driving in the wet, but there is seriously something about Kiwis and racing in the wet. They're often fast and they're often very, very furious in the wet as well. You think back to the likes of Jason Richards and Greg Murphy as well, and in the modern era of racing terms, obviously McLaughlin, Van Gisbergen, and even in the most modern era of supercars as well, Matt Payne, and just how good they are in the wettest of conditions and just how composed they are as well, Brett, when some moisture's added to the racing surface.
Yeah, and like you said, maybe it's just the higher percentage of times that they race on tracks that have got a wet surface, and they're just used to the car not being so gripped up. And just get used to having to drive that,
Well, it's a bit like how Scottish and Welsh rally drivers are often quite fast.
Friend just going fastest lap.
Yep, he has
52.813.
Yep, that's a great lap there from Craig Friend. But yeah, it's like how Welsh and And Scottish rally drivers, I call them McRae, are so fast because they're used to driving on wet leaves and mud. Wherever they're able to drive.
It's all relevant, isn't it?
It is indeed, and then you think of Finnish racing drivers, they're so fast because they train racing on snow. They have to learn car control on snow. And they start driving from a very, very young age, not in go-karts, but in actual cars. They have 8-year-olds, 7-year-olds driving race cars in Finland in these community sort of like grouped rally races. And they're learning car control by racing, in these forests of Finland on the icy snow. I mean, it's incredible.
There's only one way to learn, isn't it?
That's exactly right.
Buckland now lighting the top of the tower up there with a 1:52.741. So time just starting to come down.
As Cesar gets it loose off of turn 10 after a great start in this race. Has to wait an extended period of time here.
Oh, and he's done it around again. That's going to hurt even further, unfortunately. Can he get it? That is...
that's probably the safest way he could have done it. Apart from backing it up and kind of merging, he picked a gap. He didn't hit anyone, which is good, although he's just trying to get this thing going again.
Glance.
Yep.
Yeah, that's unfortunately he just over-rotated the car then. Otherwise, he would have only probably lost about 2 positions. And... he could have got that thing, going again, but unfortunately he looped it around again. Burns in pits.
Yep. So Paul Burns comes into pit lane and now puts Scotty Weston back up into P3. Randall now up to P4 right behind him, putting the pressure on him as they run down and in towards turn 1 and turn 2. And this close battle for P3 is great to see. Said Tannick, Hedesheed, Clifton says has come straight in. Probably a smart choice by him actually here, Brett, because he already gave up time by spinning around.
Yeah,
may as well come straight in pit lane, get some fresh tyres on it, and just try and make up for some time that you've just lost. Because often at times when you've had a moment like that so close to the pit entry, you come in, you can take that moment just to have a little breath and just reset yourself.
Yeah, reset yourself. Yeah. Compose yourself, get yourself back out there. Go straight back out on cold tyres and spin it again. No.
You joke, I've done it before. As Ben Brook has found a stray weed on the side of the main straight. He just decided to trim that one up.
See, look at the water spray out there. There's water still around. We're so lucky that we didn't get puddles build up on that track during practice when it was raining. It was just, it was actually... just a right amount to start really drying out before the start of the race. So.
Well, what an exciting and aggressive move out of pit lane that was. Cesar's come straight out, gone straight past Manuel. Blanchard's gone with him. And I tell you what, Chris Blanchard, very sneaky this season. P3 at the moment, has been super consistent at the early part of the championship, as he often is. But he's kept himself neat and tidy across the first 3 rounds. And I would argue, Brett, that at times in championships, he's often very quick and he gets up towards the podium. But it's often a mistake in round 1 or round 2, or a little bit of poor luck in round 1 or round 2 that takes him out of the title fight early. It's probably been his best start to a season in Split 2 in a very long time. And I think he's going to be someone to watch this season.
And it's some of these people just, just slowly plug away, and just get the job done. And all of a sudden, there are threats. So
Blanchard is right on the heels now of Halil Cesar back here. Further up the field, Stephen Kokoschke, who pitted earlier on in this race, has finally gotten past Michael Jones and is looking to chase down Brett Taylor, who is yet to come in down pit lane. Where will Kokoschke end up once the pit stops have been completed? He was the first car to do one on lap 2, as Michael Jones is going to come straight back at him here. Had a pit lane start tonight, did Michael, because of licence points last week. So he's had a fight for the ages to get back up the order. In fact, he then incurred another drive-through penalty because he actually participated in qualifying when he wasn't supposed to, as regulated by the rules. So it's a learning experience for Michael as Scott McKenzie's in. But I'm sure, one for Michael to now know and to apply next time if he does get another licence point penalty like that for a pit lane start.
Oh, and it looks like he's going to come back at him there too. Kokoschke running wide. So Jones got that position back.
He's come straight back at him, which is great to see. And in fact, we mentioned how Manuel dropped off the back of Blanchard before. Well, look who's tucked up on his heels now, the current championship leader, Gary Buckland, who took away the championship lead from Manuel last week at Watkins when Phil unfortunately had a power outage in the early part of the race. As the race lead is now in, Alex Kiddis into pit lane, De Goey in as well, Damon Fisher still blinking in the background. We're waiting for him to come through pit road too. Weston will continue on to get himself an extra point. Randall will come straight in, maybe trying to undercut him here, as he looks to enter a pit stop for the first time in this race.
Weston also doing the fastest lap of his race of 154. 140.
It's good to see from him. Borbin in as well. Bush into Horsell and Taylor in. Oh, he overshot the box just a little bit there to Randall, but he got it pulled up in time. It was only a touch, so he won't give up too much time there.
So Kiddis out.
So he's going to come out in fantastic clean air as Kiddis. This is going to pay off well for him.
It's his to lose at this point. I mean, we're only 13 laps in, but
honestly, without a safety car or a seriously big balls up, I cannot see Alex Kiddis losing this race now at this point.
That's right, yeah, unless there's a safety car which bunches the fields up. Paul Burns doing the fastest lap of the race so far, and 152.276.
He's tucked up in behind Stephen Kokoschke now, so he's managed to gain back up to Stephen. He's currently P9 at this stage of the race. Of course, had a much better qualifying than where he is at the moment. He started, of course, P2 on the front row, but a horrendous race start dropped him straight down the order outside of the top 10 by the end of lap 1. Yeah. So this has been a fight back for Kokoschke. On road, though, to be inside of the top 7 by the end of this pit cycle, and could even be on road for a top 5 by the end of this race as well if he continues on the trend that he's at.
It's a huge effort, considering what happened at the start and everything like that. I mean, that's a huge effort to get back there. Jones up 13 spots at the moment, so did you mention him before?
I did indeed. I mentioned that he had his pit lane start, but he also had the drive-through for doing a...
okay, so that's not a lap in qualifying. That's not a compulsory.
No.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay, my bad.
So top 4 in pit lane. Weston, Friend, Viger and Stoyles all in. Damon Fisher in as well. So Alex Kiddis will retake the lead. We expect Michael Jones into pit lane this lap time by as well. This is about the extent of the tank that they could go. So they've pushed it right to the end of the fuel cell here tonight at Barcelona. Michael Jones will stay out for another lap, so he's going to push it even further than the other drivers out there. And Kiddis will push on into the race lead to go into P2. Jones will take P3, but he's going to be needing to come down pit lane. So corrected order, Kokoschke is back on the podium.
Back on the podium, yeah.
Thanks to this fuel strategy. That's a great plan and strategy move there for Kokoschke of Synergy Sim Racing.
Cool.
Oh, big drift through too though, and Burns is going to put the pressure on him now.
Yeah. I was just about to say, if he finishes top 5, that's got to be close to a nomination for the driver of the day. Really, after that start, I don't know.
Well, I'd have to agree. I think that's a great pick. I think some of the other drivers who avoided the incidents early, I mean, they're obviously some good choices. Burns, Heddersheed, Boardman, even Rick Viger, Chris Blanchard as well. Gary Buckland, I mean, what a race from the championship leader thus far. Up 13 into P19 at the moment. I know it's probably, in terms of a comeback drive, it's not really a comeback drive. He threw it away in qualifying. Let's be honest. But still a great effort, though, from Gary.
You can have an honourable mention.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think what will be happening is when we get around to having, if Vets ever goes to having their own Hall of Fame at some point, I feel like we need to do a Split 2 induction, Brett, and I think Damon Fisher's internet is going to be an inductee at some point as part of Split 2 for sure.
Yeah.
It's become such a character over the last 3 seasons. I feel like it's almost granted at this point. Roy Clark into pit lane now, out of P36. Just he needs a safety car tonight to get back into it. Does Roy? He missed the race start, and he's down a lap at this stage of the race as well. So just trying to get 75%, I think, get some points on the board, and push on for himself as well. Burns on the back of. Yep, it's a great effort from De Goey. That's 152.92. is his fastest lap of the race. Jones is now, yep.
Yeah.
Read my mind there, Brett.
Sorry.
Read my mind.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It's okay. You tell me what I had for breakfast.
No.
No, good, because I technically didn't have breakfast at breakfast time this morning. So.
Well, that's why I couldn't tell you what you had for breakfast
There you
then.
go. See?
I was right.
See?
Yeah.
Mind reader. He's Brett Fisher. He's becoming an oracle. So
Yeah.
Shane Randall's now just starting to creep up onto the back of Joel Oosterval here. I wonder what play Oosterval's going to have. Does he just let Shane through, or does he defend hard here? Because Joel's had to drive his way forward tonight through strategy. Is it worth him giving up time to defend, or do we think it's better off for him just to let Shane go and try and get him back later in the pit stop? Because ultimately he's going to have a faster pit stop than Shane ever will, because he took 5 seconds more in the last one.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. Racers are going to race, aren't they?
It's true. I suppose, well, if he lets him go, that would help drag him up towards Burns and Kokoschki.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a decision. Like when Randall gets onto the back of him, if he finds that he's being pressured and he's not happy about that pressure, you might let him go and follow him. But yeah. Kidis out to nearly 10 seconds now too. So 15 laps done.
It's dominant thus far for Kidis, and I think at the moment, as we said, without a safety car or without seriously the biggest throwaway of all time, it would legitimately be the biggest throwaway of all time. I cannot see a world in which Kidis can lose this race now.
That's it, yeah. And he's just done the fastest lap of his race, 152.344. You'd have to be bored out there, wouldn't you? You'd just go, maybe I'll just might back it off a bit.
How about we
up.
make a deal with Alex here? If he gets out to 24 seconds, he has to do 2 more pit stops in this race. Make up the time difference,
Make up the time difference.
Yeah, do a drive-through for us, Alex. Come on. Get yourself back there.
Look, not taking any away from just sliding the car a bit there too. Not taking any away from him, but obviously, driving very, very well. I mean, he's slowly been, pushing that gap further and further ahead. So, obviously, driving the car incredibly well and feeling very comfortable in the car.
I would argue this is not an easy position to be in, Brett. Right?
No,
and I've personally
not.
been in this position before, where you can get yourself so far ahead in a race, and then you almost kind of get lost in that, and then you start to make mistakes, and then you make those mistakes, and then all of a sudden you start to focus on them, and then you make more, and it closes it up. And the important thing for Alex to do now is to stay focused for the next 30-odd laps. Keep this car on the road, keep it clean, hit your markers, hit your pit stop to perfection, and you'll be a race winner. It is the endurance races mentality of don't overreach yourself. Don't get ahead of yourself just yet. You've still got 30-odd laps to go. Anything can happen. Keep yourself clear mind, clear head. And again, just take it lap by lap. Focus on your markers every single lap. Don't worry about how many laps there are to go.
No, that's right. Just even coming down to the sector times, I was a little bit slow on that sector, I need to, get back in the game there and all sorts of stuff.
And don't necessarily worry about if your lap time is a little bit off your previous best or whatever it may be. Just concentrate on it being a smooth, clean lap. Concentrate on the braking zone at turn 1. Get your braking zone right. Get your turn in right. Hit your apexes. And just do that lap after lap. And that's what you've got to do being this far ahead. Because again, as you said, you can get bored. And boredom is the biggest race killer, because that is when you make a big mistake, because you start to daydream and you start to just screws come a little bit loose. So for Alex now, he's just got to keep his head into it. As Craig Fran has gotten past Randall, and now he's gotten past Oosterval as well, up into P5. So move, mate.
You've got a friend in me.
You've got a friend in me. Good old Woody friend here. Or is he Buzz friend? Who knows? Make your choice.
Who knows?
Maybe he's Andy friend.
Could be.
Imagine he could ride on the bottom of his tyre, Andy, with a backwards N.
Wouldn't last long.
No, I don't think it would.
No.
As soon as it touches the tarmac, it'll rub off. Yeah, on the sidewall. Yeah.
Although he just had a little bit of a wiggle coming out of that corner there.
I tell you what, it's been great to see, and it was great to see on Thursday all the different liveries, as well as I said, supporting the supporting the cause.
Fantastic.
Although looking in the photos channel of everyone's liveries, I thought to myself, oh my God, we're not going to be able to know who anyone is. All the cars are going to look the same, because they've all got the same colour scheme of silver, white, grey and orange. And I thought, oh God, we're going to get absolutely hammered. But
it's
luckily,
good.
luckily, the majority of teams just restructured they didn't restructure their livery. They just replaced their sponsors with
exactly.
Yeah, which I think is the best way to go about it, because it keeps the car recognizable. But obviously, you change it up to support the cause as well. And I think it should be the same for Anzac Day, really. That's what I always like to do, is keep the base the same, but obviously change it for Anzac Day.
Put some flavours in it.
Yeah, and we'll see that next season when we go racing for Season 2 of this year.
I'll just give
Season
quickly
27.
before he goes off this lap. Sorry, Jones just done the fastest lap of the race with a 1:51.522. So he's on fire.
He's got some pace, but he is down the order tonight. So
that's all right.
And again, I think the issue now is right, and I think what hits home now, right, in terms of a contest for the race win tonight. Unfortunately for Catalunya, there's about a 5% chance you're ever going to see a safety car here, and that 5% is literally somebody money shifts between turn 5 and turn 10.
Can't get it up. Yeah. Can't get it off track enough.
Because if someone ends up in the wall, you're 200 meters away from the racing surface. Like, it's safe position. You just push them through the hole in the wall. So. That's the only downside I would say to Catalunya. This is a great racetrack to go driving at, though, and go racing at. I actually think it would be a great track for an endurance race of some kind for multi-class racing, because it is nice and wide, Brett. It's, for the historic circuit, in quotes, on racing, the better version of this layout with the 14 corners, not 16, yada, yada, yada. I think what's good about it is it has really good flow, and because the track is so wide, there are so many good opportunities for higher class cars to get past the slower class of cars. And you throw a 6 or a 12 hour around here, I think you can go gangbusters for sure. Well,
for sure. Yeah.
Well, what we can see at the moment is Scotty Weston is caught in the wars right now, just outside the top 10, down 11 spots, trapped behind Bruce Tannock with Rick Viger on his heels at the moment. What can Scott Weston do tonight? Race win, probably away from him. Is there a podium still on, or possibly a top 5 as well? As we've just hit lap 19 of 43. Kokoschki in for the final time in this race as we come down through turn 16. Viger, Stoyles, Hedesheed want to continue to apply this pressure onto Scott Weston and Bruce Tannock. And I want to talk about this, biggest mover and shaker thus far, up 24 positions. James Boardman into the top 10. That's a great effort from him. Burns up 16, the biggest loser thus far. Ron Allen down 28 into P31.
Yeah, there's been some big losers in this race, and obviously Ron Allen being probably one of the bigger ones, but some people actually have had a bit of an ordinary night in some respects. But
of course,
race is not over. We've still got plenty of laps to go.
Plenty of laps to go, of course. Said it best there, Brett. And of course, for James, former race winner here in Split 2, won at Bathurst in round 1 of season 12 of the V8 Veterans. It's been a long time, though, since his last race win here in Split 2. And in fact, it's been a long time since his last top 10, because the last majority of the last run that he's had here in Vets have all been in Split 3. And he's only just made it back to Split 2 this season, first time in 2 years.
Wiggle.
As that's a massive wiggle there for Boardman. So getting back up to pace is tough for him, for the New South Wales-based driver. See what more we can do in the coming seasons. Again, not a championship contender this season, but I think will be one in future seasons, Brett, because I think racing around his teammates of Randall and Cesar, I think he's in one of the best positions he possibly could be in terms of being around strong teammates as a former fast driver in this split. I think Boardman's got all the talent to do it.
Yeah, time will tell. Get him back on the track and keep punching forward. Isn't it interesting, though, the mix of drivers we've got out there at the moment, and some people, this track and this weather conditions and all sorts of stuff have thrown a bit of a sort of curveball to a lot of people. So some of the people you would expect to see up a bit higher haven't actually prevailed in these conditions, just caught them out a little bit. It'll be interesting to see by the end of the race where they actually end up.
Well, we'll see how it pays off come the end of this race, and actually if this, how many drivers will use this race as a drop round come season's end. Of course, as of the end of this round, we'll be counting one drop round on our rolling points tally that we show up for each race. So it'd be interesting to see where the cards truly fall for some drivers. I think one driver we know will be in and around the top 5 will be Shane Randall, especially if he can maintain a top 10 finish tonight, because 2 top 5s and possibly another top 10, that's going to put him right up there. Blanchard will be up there.
Yeah.
Buckland will be up there as well.
I was going to say, Buckland's on the hard at the moment. He was looking pretty racy in that section of the track. Just dropped off a little bit here, down a 0.5 off the back of Blanchard. But he was looking a couple of corners back there. He was looking like he was going to have a bit of a go. Just trying to gather himself back up again. And then there looks like a... Sorry, go.
No, I was going to say, of course, we're up for some exciting races coming up, but I'm happy to continue this point going for a moment here before we mention what's coming up this season, because I'm actually very excited for the next few weeks, Brett, of where we're going racing. I'm excited for next week. I love Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Of course, that there was the home of the final Gen 2 Strength of Field race back in December of 2024. So, after a full year with the Gen 3 car, we roll back around to Canadian Tire. Week after, the Silverstone Historic Grand Prix circuit, the best version of Silverstone we get to go to. It's the only good version of Silverstone. And then Sebring for our Enduro race in 3 weeks' time. It's going to be a fun time ahead. But, yeah, Canadian Tire Motorsport Park to end out January. That's going to be fun next week for round 5. I'm super excited. 250k race, 64 laps. A very tough, tight, old-school circuit with not many passing opportunities. Qualifying is going to be key. And I think keeping it on the tarmac is going to be key as well, Brett. And I also think how you play the traversal through pit lane game is going to be very strong next week too, because a drive-through is going to affect you quite a fair bit. But also, undercut's going to be crucial as well because of the lack of passing opportunities out at Mosport. I think that's going to be a big factor. But yeah, the second half of the season is ridiculous. I mean,
this is heating up.
It is heating up here. Matt Stoyles replying a Scott Weston header sheet as well. They're all getting into it.
That was a big dive by header sheet. Can he hold it off? I think he's got that. Has he got it still on the inside? No, Weston looks like he's crossed over, so header sheet hasn't been able to complete that move, but I was very aggressive. Still looking very racy on that car. Got the back end a little bit sideways, so he's trying to do something here. Can he get a run out here? He's only 0.2, 0.3 behind Stoyles at the moment.
It's putting all sorts of pressure on him. Through turn 10 and 11, we come up towards turn 12. Simon Heddersheed all over the ginger of Matt Stoyles of East West Tasmanian Racing. It's the Kiwi and the Aussie battling it out here for P12. A lot of curb for Heddersheed.
Yeah.
And that gets him super
really
loose.
Dancing.
Yep. I mean, it's dancing so much, in fact, he was almost tiptoeing it through. Look at the drift off him. The car control of Heddersheed. Unreal. Through turn 16.
And you can see how much effort he was putting to that, and he's just fallen off the back. Now, like he's lost 6/10 off the back of him there. So he'll have to gather that up, settle the car down again, let the tyres cool off a bit and come back and have another crack. Randall on the Osterwall is pretty close as well, and Boardman as well. So there's a bit of a race going on up here.
Here's indeed. Randall wants to get this job done. Put his car up into the top 5, but Usaball's not making it easy for him. He's not being his friend either. He's trying to hold him back as best he can. He knows that Randall's got pace, but he does not want to let him go. But again, the thought process is, and I'm sure that Joel may not have this information in front of him. Obviously, only someone who'd have a spotter that can see the pit stop times would. 31 seconds compared to 26 seconds in the pit stop. You're going to gain 5 seconds on him anyway. I don't really think there's a point in holding him up, because he can help you gain on the cars ahead. You may just be giving up time here to the rest of the top 5 and holding yourself up.
And as you say, if you're not privy to that information, it's hard while you're racing to try and gather that information if you don't have that easily accessible. But they are really on his ginger. Now, Boardman's actually closed right up on this as well. So obviously Osterwald just sort of keeping these guys just in check at the moment. So it'll be interesting how this plays out. Randall needs to just sort of chill. And,
the longer this goes on, the more willing I would say Shane is to want to try and undercut him, and may just come into pit lane to get out of it, because this may just become frustrating the longer that this goes on for him. With Todd Duggan exiting pit lane as well, lap traffic ahead of them, so he'll get some blue flags off these cars as they enter turn 1. This is our closest battle within the top 10. It is for a top 5 position on the road at the moment. Corrected order, it is for the top 5 as well. Because of some adjustments with the pit stops too. We expect Stephen Kokoschny to be around the top 5 coming into the pit stops as Chad Weiger enters pit lane. Great to have everyone in the chat with us here this evening as well. Andrew Rushworth's out there with us. Ben Taylor's with us too in the chat as well. It's great to have you watching along. If you are out there watching with us, get into the chat. Let us know who you want us to keep an eye on here this evening. Let us know your thoughts of the upcoming rounds at Canadian Tire Motorsport Park and Silverstone Historic Grand Prix Circuit as well in the next 2 weeks. A fun time ahead at the midway point of the season before the second half of the season begins, including a run at Miami Grand Prix Circuit in round 9 and the wondrous Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in round 10. I'm very excited for that, Brett. One of my top 5 favourite tracks of all time is that Montreal circuit, and I'm very, very excited for us to go there. You know what my perfect season includes, Brett? Red Bull Ring, Long Beach, and Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. They are my top 3 perfect races in a season. Throw some Bathurst in there, throw some Sandown in there. We're having a great time.
Everyone's enjoying.
Yeah.
Gary Buckland's closing on that little pack. So Blanchard, Buckland, Heddershute and Stoyles. So that's all started to gel together and get a bit closer.
I'll tell you what, Brett. Gary and Chris have a very similar race approach about them. Both of them will bide their time. They'll play the game of waiting and waiting and waiting before they finally strike. And both of them will approach the race well. As I said to you before, Randall would come in and try and undercut him. He's done that now. So he was obviously waiting to see if Joel would come in first. He hasn't. So now Randall's going to come in to try and undercut him here in pit lane, but he's got to try and make up a 5-second differential. The only way that Joel can cover this is by pitting this lap. So he would have to pit this lap to try and cover the undercut. Otherwise, he's got to stick to the strategy and hope that Randall can't pass him via the pit stop strategy here, and hope that Randall doesn't come out in clean air, because that could kill the attempt at a phenomenal drive thus far for Joel up inside of the top 5. By the way, this is good enough for him to take the championship lead tonight, heading into Canadian Tire Motorsports Park, which would give us, Brett, a 4th different championship leader heading out of every single round this season. And with Alex Kidd so far up the road and more than likely going to be our race winner tonight, we're doing it again, Brett. 4th different race winner in a row at the start of this season. The last 4 seasons, we have gone 4 from 4. Since season 23, we have gone 4 from 4.
It throws the all up into the air, and it's not a foregone conclusion about who's going to win the championship. I love it. Also, just having a look at the battle of the Bretts at the moment. There is a battle of the 2 Bretts, Brett Horsell and Brett Taylor. Further down in 19th and 20th, they are having a good old battle. So those Bretts have gelled together, and they're having a good old battle out there at the moment.
Well, I got to say, Brett, I think at the moment, looking at how your season has gone so early on this season, if you can finish inside of the top 10 tonight, seriously, I think the battle of the Bretts may already be over before we're ready for it to end. You're that far up. As Oosterwald's in, Boardman's actually followed him in here. I wonder if that was a mistake or not, but he is straight in. So on board with Boardman in the box. Oosterwald's there. Where is Randall? He's trapped behind Kokoschny and Cullen, so this is not going to help his case, because this is going to hold him up now. Remembering that he had to make up 5 seconds, and he's no way knowing done that at this point. So he comes through turn 14 and 15 down towards turn 16. Kokoschny
having a look
on
at the inside of Cullen.
Oh, that's a great move. That is a great move. It's side by side. He'll get this done at turn 1, and Randall's got to select where he's going to go now. Is he going to tuck up behind Cullen? Is he going to try and follow Kokoschki? They're banging doors down the straight. He's not going to make it stagger 3 wide, does he know? But he's going to make Kokoschki think about it. Under brakes, they go down towards turn 1. Randall's going to stink up the inside of Cullen as well and try and make it a 2-for-1 special at turn 1. Outside line at turn 2, and he's gotten past him in a great move for Shane Randall. Kokoschki started it for him. He unlocked the door, and Randall just opened it and took the key.
That was some good close racing and really close side-by-side stuff there. Well done to Sean too. He was up 8 positions, but up 6 positions now in 23rd at the moment. So he's not having a bad race at the moment. Unfortunately, work's taking him out of this championship, but you know, good to see him back on track, having a crack. So,
of course, does need to have another pit stop here tonight as well. Gary Buckland, they're saying today,
he does too.
Doug,
I didn't see that.
in the chat with us too. Ben's asked us, did it start wet? The start of the race was dry, but the start of the session was wet here tonight. So some drivers in qualifying ran wet tyres. It was a dry tyre start race. That was the preferred tyre off the race start. There was no rain though for qualifying. It ended at the end of practice.
Tannick in pits.
Tannick and Buckland and Fisher all
Buckland.
in. But Gary Buckland in the chat saying, on behalf of Old Mate and Sons, thanks for the Balin liveries to Doug out there who made that for that team. So shout out there to Doug for making liveries, and for everyone out there as well who put the time into making liveries for their teams or just for other teams who they may not even drive for. I know that I'm sure you made your teams, Brett. I made my teams.
Yep.
I made them in a day. I got asked by Ray if we were going to do it, and I'm like, okay, I got a couple of hours. I'll quickly whip them up and did them on the Friday afternoon. And I was like, I've only got to do 2 cars. I'm not going to put the car numbers on them like the Anzac Day cars.
No,
so.
yeah. And I did the same for our team. I did the Chevys and the Mustangs, you know, just one set for each, so
now,
didn't really personalise them.
Obviously, the regular liveries, they have got their car numbers on the doors and on the roofs as well. But I decided that we'll do one of each, and then they can run that, and it'll be the same for Anzac Day next season. In season 27, there'll be one of each, and because I think when it comes to supporting a charity like Bin the Blade for Balin or as well the cause of Anzac Day, I think it's actually the foundation is bigger than the team and it's bigger than the driver.
Correct.
And it's better to just support that than try and show off which driver is running it, and then show that we're a combined unit supporting something so close to us as well. And who knows, maybe when we get to, I think it's in June or July for Pride Month, we may even give support to Pride Month some way as well, as a team too, but we'll see if that happens or not.
We'll see.
Well, this is a tiny battle between them, but Brett Taylor and Brett Horsell are continuing this battle.
Still, yeah.
It's great to see between them. Brett's doing very, very well tonight. He did very well last season, of course. Took his very first podium here in Split 2 at it. And, ironically, Brett, the last wet race we were at the Red Bull Ring. Remembering he finished P2 on the road in an incredible effort from himself. One driver of the day that day, in fact, in season 25. It's great to see from Brett Taylor.
I'm glad you've got all the memory stuff because, I couldn't remember what happened last week, but thank God you're here for that.
Would you like me to roll through who's won the championship in Split 2, Brett,
no,
since season 14?
No, I don't.
Because I remember them all.
No, I don't.
It's funny, Brett. I know.
I'm sure you can remember
Brett,
it all.
I know every single one from season 14. Prior to season 14, I've got no idea, barring one of them, because it matches my stats. And that's Rick Sibber, who won it in season, I think, 11 or 12, because he's a 2-time champion. It's the only reason I know that Rick Sibber won it then. And so I knew that he had done it twice.
I don't know what it is with some people's memory. Like I had a mate of mine years ago, and you could ask him what was the weather like on such and such a date or whatever, and he would be able to tell you what the weather was, what the temperature was, what like Jesus. Does your head in.
Brett, I can tell you what that is.
I can't even remember what happened bloody 2 minutes ago.
Brett, I can tell you what that is. and what it is
Autism.
for me. Autism. It's autism, Brett.
Yeah.
I can, there's other things I can name for you as well. I can name every AFL premiership winner since the year 2000 as well. I can also name who they beat in the grand final. every single year since then. I can name the majority of Brownlow winners from the year
To go in,
2000
friend
as
in.
well. Yep, so
And
to go in,
Stoyles.
friend are in. As I'm just getting myself on a tangent here about things that I can list.
Yeah, sorry, no, you're right. Keep
I
going.
love lists. I can name. I could confidently say I can name every Supercars champion since the mid '90s. Who knows if I'll ever be tested on that?
Yeah.
It's one thing to claim it; it's another thing to be tested on it.
Yeah. But isn't it funny though? You know, like I was a salesman with caravans for a while, and I was a salesman at Mudgee Toyota for a little while. And you know, one of the most important things in sales is remembering someone's name. Do you think I could do that?
No.
Not that I was a bad salesman; I was a good salesman, but yeah, it was just one of those things that, like, just retention like that. And it wasn't the fact that I didn't care or anything like that. It was just my brain just does not work like that. Anyway, we're all different.
You know, and I suppose that is, you know, autism especially. You know, as someone with autism, it has its ups and downs, right? So,
for sure.
The fact that I have such good knowledge retention, on things that I like to have. I have the magical combination, Brett, of ADHD and autism, so I have knowledge retention, but it's knowledge retention on things I'm interested in. If it's something that I don't care about, good luck. I don't remember anything about it. It's not going to happen. But then obviously the downside, you know, and it's good to have that, and then to obviously have the ability to hyper-focus on things and use that to my ability to try and get things done and be productive. The downside, though, is always overstimulation, meltdowns, stuff like that. Stuff that my
for
brain,
sure, 100%. Look, I mean,
can't control, and it's, you know, it has its ups and
I
has
mean,
its downs. So
we all have our battles and stuff like that too, and you know, and we've all got our demons and all that sort of stuff. It's just, you know, I mean, as I said, like working alongside yourself, you know, I think it's incredible, the stat retention and all that sort of stuff. I mean, yeah, I sort of sometimes go, oh, geez, what, you know, like, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Like, I'm nowhere. But then again, I just look at it and go, you know what? I just try and bring a bit of entertainment, bit of you know, humour, a bit of, you know, just, have a bit of fun. Let's get a bit of excitement going, and all that sort of stuff. So,
well, it's also I mean, you look back on my first ever race with vets at Herschel, and don't watch it back. It was horrendous. From my commentary point of view, but that was over 600 broadcasts ago, you know. And could I tell you every race winner since season 14? Hell no, I could not, Brett. I could not tell you that. I can barely tell you race winners of the last 10 seasons. I can tell you notable race winners, and I can tell you championship winners, and that's about it. Anything else? No idea.
But I mean, look, what's really good is that it gives, you know, the racing like we're currently watching at the moment, it gives context, you know. So we, you know, which is fantastic, you know. And there's definitely no way known I could do that. So I think that's where it's good that you've got all that, and hopefully I bring the excitement.
Well, I can tell you now. So obviously Joel Oosterwald.
Talking about excitement, Mick Clifton's closing on Cesar.
He is indeed.
And also Osterwell is closing on Friend.
Yep. So, you know, perfect example of this right now. Of course, Joel, former driver of Team AJR, moved to 266 Sim Racing last season when it was formed between himself and Phil Manuel. They filled this team with former AJR drivers and two former WKMP drivers in David Duddle and Ernie Toff as well, who were formerly of Corkscrew Racing as well, when they made that team up when they came into Veterans only a few seasons ago. Joel's not yet won a championship here in the Veterans, no matter what split he's been in. He's only been in split 3 and now split 2 this season as well, as Brett Horsell is into pit lane. I do think Joel can be a champion in split 2 at some point. Will it be this season? I don't think so. I think, well, at the moment he's up there. I think it depends though how well his teammate Phil Manuel does. I think that will be the determining factor, is how well Phil does. Because after drop rounds are counted, Phil is going to be right up there, of course, as will the likes of Shane Randall, as will the likes of Steve Grumley, as will the likes of Gary Buckland. So this is going to be a tough championship fight once those drop rounds have been included. And
it's going to be exciting. It's once again, you know,
at this point as well, I think that, us knowing who's in the championship fight, it's easier for us to say who's not. Because without the drop rounds included, because drivers have had such up and down races thus far, we don't truly know until those drop rounds are included. And we'll drop one after this week, and in 3 weeks' time we'll drop another. So with 3 rounds to go, we'll have a better understanding of who is within that championship battle. And even with one dropped, we'll understand who's there. But that's really going to give us the crescendo to the championship. The question is, though, Brett, do we return to our old favourite of round 3 winner wins the championship? We didn't get that last season.
I don't know.
I think if it were to happen, it would go to Chad Weiger, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah, I think the field's closed up that much, and we see Kokoschki getting past Randall getting past Kokoschki. So there's a battle there going on, and Weston is tucked in there as well. And Boardman and Jones also in that pack. So things are starting to sort of level out now. Nearly all of the second pit stops have been done. So we're on the final run to home. 31 lap of 43.
And it was about this time on Thursday, Brett, that my power went out. For about 30 seconds. So I had the quickest restart of iRacing of all time when I turned my computer back on, as Kokoschki looks to come back past Shane Randall now. Big thank you to James Boardman. 2 weeks in a row he has sent me the race replay file, so thank you, James. Appreciate it.
Well done. I'll tell you what, after the pit stops have all settled themselves, everything like that, so Kiddis is 7.5 seconds out in front of DeGoey. So that gap that he had out of about 10 seconds has now been reduced, probably obviously from how much fuel and how much time that was spent in pits over the 2 stops.
Also, I think Randall, I think, had a slowdown off the end of the final corner because he's just had to give up big positions. He's now back into P12, and that's allowed Kokoschki, Weston, Boardman and Jones all pass him now in the battle for the back end of the top 10 here in this race.
Scott McKenzie going the fastest at the moment for the race so far, 151.520.
Alex Kiddis as well. By the way, just quickly, Brett, has also now officially led the most laps in this race and cannot be surpassed by that at this point either.
So he's got an extra point.
He has got himself an extra point. If he's on a 0x, well, he'd be on for 3 extra points on top of that as well. That'd be great from him if he got the fastest lap. It's another bonus point too. He didn't have pole, so he doesn't get a bonus point for that. But we know that Alex is good at racking up bonus points. He's done that previously. The one thing that's let him down is he wasn't a proven race winner. And with only, just over 10 laps to go and a 7.9 second lead, I think that's about to change. And he's about to become a proven race winner here tonight. But there's still minor positions to be determined, i.e. at the back end of the top 10 in this battle from Stephen Kokoschki all the way back to Rick Weiger at the back end of this too. Michael Jones is within this now, but he does need another pit stop in this race. So he'll actually get taken out of it, Brett, when he does come into pit lane. So realistically, this is a 5-car battle for position with 3 spots inside of the top 10 on the line, including those of Weston, Kokoschki and Boardman, who is at the back end of the top 10, up 21 positions tonight.
Huge. I was just looking up that, yeah. And Jones actually, he's still got to do another stop, doesn't he?
Yeah, he'll be taken out of it. So.
Yeah, but Rick Weiger up 15. So that's a huge effort. Blanchard.
Burns up 16 as well. Blanchard up 11. Yeah. Buckland up 12. So some big gainers.
12. So, yeah.
And I think at this stage, Brett, my favourites at the moment for a driver of the day right now is probably between Oosterwall, Kokoschki, Boardman, and then maybe DeGoey or Burns, because I think both of them have had a great drive to be on the podium.
Yeah, they have, yeah. Burns, 16 positions, that's a huge, to get yourself into on the bottom step of the podium, that's a pretty huge effort.
Yeah, it's a very solid effort.
He's just done that quietly throughout the whole race too, hasn't he?
And you know what? When Paul has a race like this, again, often at times you could pick, 2 to maybe 4 drivers who have a very similar race style, right? Where oftentimes their races go very similarly. It's ironic we mentioned Chris Blanchard and Gary Buckland earlier. Paul is the third of that trio. You could put all 3 of them together and they are all cut from the same template. in terms of how their race can go, how they go about their racing, even back to how long they've been in vets for. And all three of them, you know, they all drive a Camaro, they all drive for different teams, but it's very funny how you can make those comparisons between themselves. There's other trios out there too. There's the likes of, you know, Shane Randall, Craig Friend, and Phil Manuel. They go about their racing very similarly. So, you know, there is a lot of trios or quads out there, or even duos of drivers who go about their racing very similarly and often will have mimicked race results throughout the season compared to each other as well. Obviously, they have their differences. Paul's probably a lot less lucky in terms compared to Gary and Chris. There's a lot more bad luck on track, and he often gets a couple more penalties than they do. But the way that he goes about his racing is very similar to theirs.
Rick Viker saying Randall's struggling at the moment, so he's obviously closing in on Randall, noticing obviously a few things on the car there.
I wonder if
so Randall not having the best of night so far.
I would say
down.
Shane may now know, because he's been dropped out of the 10, and he may just assume that Michael is in a genuine position and not actually needing to pit. I think what Shane may be doing now, and this is legitimately, this is not me giving insider info of what we planned or anything like that. This is what I genuinely believe went through Shane's head, because I didn't tell him anything. I think that Shane's actually taken it upon himself to try and hold back the train so James can try and get himself a top 10.
So James,
because that is the sort of driver that Shane is. If Shane can't have it, he'll try and give it to his teammate. And I think right now, knowing that James hasn't had a top 10 this season, he'll be happy to give it up for James to get it. Because that is the sort of driver that Shane is.
So that's, I mean, if that's the case, it's, you know, Rick might actually get a bit of taste of I need to do something. And as I say that, Rick just comes out of that final corner sideways, obviously trying to get the power down big time, and probably just having enough of that and saying, right, I'm going to move on if I can.
Well, you know
Jones
what?
dropping, he's in pits, sorry.
Yeah, he is in pits. We also, we mentioned some drivers we think are drivers that are nominees. What about Scotty Weston? Pole position.
He's done a great job.
And is actually maintaining a top 10 spot. Yes, he's down 8 positions at the moment, but he's maintained a top 10 in a race that I think he's had his first ever pole position in. I think this is you know, if we look across the span of qualifying and the race, this has been a brilliant night for Scott Weston, and I think we should recognise that in some way.
Definitely. I would have loved to have seen if Scotty Weston didn't make that oopsie and come off track, because he was bolting
he would have been
at
on the
that point.
podium. He would have been on the podium for sure.
Yeah.
If not the podium, he would have been in the top 5.
It's so gutting too. Like when you're driving like that and you put the car on pole, you know, you don't know the outcome of the race, but you know what I mean? You sort of go, oh, well, I'm in with half a chance here. And so he's probably, you know, a bit gutted, and then having to sort of regather himself up again a little bit here. Header sheet on the Buckland and Manuel and Cesar fairly, close, and Blanchard and Stoyles and Viger.
Yeah, so two little groups of 5 here. We're battling away. That's Buckland trying to go up the inside of Phil Manuel. Oh, plenty of room given from Phil, and Buckland's going to get him.
Header sheet also thought it might get a bit of a dip in this as well. Got a bit squirrely, and he's had to tuck back into the back of behind Manuel. But this is going on. We talked about Weston before. So Weston's in just behind Kokoschki at 2.4 seconds. That gap might be closing as they come down the straight. As it is Weston going to go for a bit of a dive here? He might be on the inside. That's a pass. That's a great pass.
That is a pass. Kokoschki let him have it too. Gave it up. Didn't defend too hard because he knows there's still just under 10 laps to go in this race. No point trying to fight it too hard now, because you're just going to drag the likes of Boardman and Randall back into this thing, keeping it a 1-on-1 scenario. There's no point defending it too hard now. I'll tell you what, Blanchard's putting some pressure on Viger. It's a big send.
So obviously, Viger's just fallen away off the back of Randall there for a second. Obviously, he was a few laps ago putting some pressure on Randall, but now he's copping a bit of pressure from Blanchard. So that's keeping his toes in check. I do not know what that means, but anyway.
Making sure they're nicely trimmed and maybe nicely painted. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
Perhaps he likes getting a pedicure.
Whatever floats your boat.
Brett, if you've never had your toenails filed down, you've never lived. I say that as someone who's not had their toenails filed down, of course.
So Kiddis well out in front. He's nearly got that 10-second gap back again. And DeGoey in second spot. Burns in third spot. He's 10 seconds behind. So roughly there's a decent gap between each of these guys. And then back to Craig Friend, which is about 1.8 seconds behind Burns. So he's probably the closest challenge in the top section of the probably 8 drivers, really. It's all gapped out there fairly large in the top into the top 10. The only really big one in the top 10 is Kokoschki and Boardman. But then outside of the top 10, this battle here is still going on.
Yes, indeed. Chris Blanchard looks to hunt down the rear of Rick Feiger's car and get that car up a position. He gets super close into him at turn 1. Careful not to make contact. Just made it out of there alive. It's 8 laps to go.
Wow.
Anything can happen, but Chris Blanchard has encroached right up onto the back of Rick Feiger. The old guard of Split 2 continue to battle away here for the minor places just outside of the top 10. Of course, Blanchard wants to maintain a top 5 position in the championship. Rick's trying to cover off for his brother Chad, of course, who's already would have had to have taken a drop round this season to keep himself up there. Of course, one of the race winners this season was Chad, who's had some poor luck tonight and is down 5 spots from where he started the race. But for Chris Blanchard, he is hounding the back of that Angry Birds Kumo Tyres entry, and that was a lot of curb.
That was a lot of curb. You can get a slowdown there. I wonder if you've got that clear. I don't think he has got a slowdown at that point. But it's starting to get into the desperate stage when you're counting the laps down. There's not that many to go, so you're going to start and put some challenges on here and there. So this is, I think, what we're thinking here by Blanchard at the moment.
And for Weiger, he's getting knocked back into the clutches of Chris Blanchard in this battle for P12. And it is on for young and old. Leaders just crossed the line, 7 laps to go for Alex Kiddis before he is a race winner in Split 2.
Quite quick through that section of track. Sorry, Hamish.
You're right.
Yeah, Blanchard quite quick through that section of the track. Really closed the gap up. So he's definitely trying to work this gap.
Slight poor exit off of 16. So I don't think he's going to be able to get to him.
Still closing.
He is closing. Can he get to him at 1? Has he pulled out too early? He's made his intentions clear. Braking zone. He comes into it. He can't quite get alongside. I think he tucked out a couple of seconds too early, and it lost him some time when he hit the dirty air. So now for Blanchard, he's got to try and re-rack him, restack him, and have another go. And it may not come until he gets down towards turn 10, but he's got to maximise the exits. He's got to keep this WKMP Simsports Camaro right on the tailpipe of the Ford Mustang ahead of him, and he's got to hound the back of the 014 for the next quarter of a lap until he gets off the exit of 9 and tries to push it up towards the braking zone at turn 10.
And the thing is, too, Stoyles and Fisher behind. If there's a mistake anywhere, they are going to capitalise on that, as we just see Blanchard just getting a little bit wild in there, but he's still gaining. But yeah, Stoyles and Fisher right in this chase as well. They're all about 0.3 or 0.4 behind. Here we go. Blanchard closing, having a look on the inside.
Yep, he got the exit off 9. Can he get the run? He's not quite close enough. Oh, there's contact made. Tags him, goes round Weiger.
Oh,
Blanchard's going to wait. He's going to wait for him. I don't know if there's any point, though, because of the amount of positions that Rick's actually going to lose, and he's just realised the amount that Rick's losing. And in fact, look who's there. Gary Buckland, championship leader, who's going to get a couple more freebies tonight now, up 17 inside of the top 15 he goes.
That was really unfortunate, because that was going to be shaping up to be a fantastic battle, and it's just unfortunate to end it that way, but it is what it is. We move on.
Well, this one's shaping up as well. Weston, Kokoschki, and now Boardman's getting into it too. In a battle for P8 on the road, up through the first chicane they go. Who is going to come out the other side of it in the prominent position with 6 laps to go of Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya here tonight before we end this initial European run and head over to the US next week in towards Canada for Canadian Tire Motorsport Park. Who is going to come out of it the other side as the benefactor? For Western, it was pole position tonight. For Kokoschki, it was P2. Now they battle for P8 and P9 after a horrid race start for Kokoschki and a single mistake on the AstroTurf for Western.
Kokoschki hunting. He's
hunting him.
He's getting close. Yeah, he's getting closer, and then he's dropped off a bit there through that section. But closing again and dropping back away. So he's just plus and minusing at the moment. So he's trying to find where he's and here he goes. Darts to the inside, Western covering.
Up the inside goes the Synergy Simsports entry.
That's a great
Gets
move,
it
but
done.
can he hold off the switchback?
Oh no!
Western sideways.
The exit ruined it for him. He got a big wiggle off of turn 10, and that wrecked it for the entry of turn 11. And with Boardman hounding the back of them as well, this is going to start to put some pressure on them now to try and get a move on. Because if they can't and they make a mistake, he'll be right there to pick up the pieces like a mother with a dustpan when you're eating a bread sandwich in the kitchen, ready to pick up the crumbs. I don't know why I said bread sandwich. You need bread to make a sandwich, Hamish, but a ham sandwich, I meant to say. When you're eating a ham sandwich by the kitchen bench and she's ready to pick up the crumbs. There we go. I fixed it.
There you go. You fixed it. Very good. 39 of 43.
5 laps to go.
Blanchard in pits.
Blanchard's in. So I wonder if this is a drive-through. Because that'd be very quick for... And I mean, it's pretty clear cut. He's drilled the back of Rick's car. It's unfortunate for Rick as well.
Unfortunate for both of them, unfortunately. But, I mean, it happens that we're racing and those things happen, you know. So Weston's still on Kokoschki and Boardman. That's probably... This is inside the top 10. Barkland closing on Clifton as well, back in 15th. So he's still got a chance to move up even further.
Well, not only that. Brett Taylor has now gotten past Brett Horsell. And it's fairly clear within this battle of the Bretts between the both of them. But the most clear, Brett, is this Brett right here. P7 at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Up 5 and maintaining a top 5 position in the championship. In fact, Brett, this may be good enough for P2 in the title race right now.
Oh, you're joking. Really?
Well, looking at it on the surface,
I haven't done any calculations.
The only driver that's ahead of you in the title race that's beating you right now is Oosterwald.
Right.
So I think going into next week, I think it's going to be Oosterwald P1, yourself P2. Now, with a unofficial drop round applied, that may be different, obviously.
Yeah.
But as of SRH, I think that is actually how it will read. We'll see. Time will tell.
I mean, time will tell. Time will tell. It was interesting. Tanik, I was closing on Tanik, and unfortunately, might have been a couple of laps back, and I got a slowdown and killed that momentum. But I did get within a second, I think, of Tanik, and I don't know whether he had to fuel save or not, but I destroyed that for myself. Here we go. Western having a look on the inside of Kokoschki. Can't do anything with it there.
Couldn't quite get him.
Showed the nose, though, like he might be setting up for something a little bit later. Boardman just sitting in the box seat at the moment.
I think he's just biding his time. He's waiting for one of them to make a mistake. He's not going to try and push it too hard.
No.
He'll just sit back and enjoy the show because he's got the best seat in the house for this battle as they come in towards turn 4. Because he's right, again, as I said, he's right there to pounce on them. They make a mistake, he's right there, you know. It's like a house cat hunting a rat. I mean, he's ready to just claw at it and get past it when he can.
And I think that's it. You know, he's got the vision of seeing what's going on in front of him. So there's no point in putting another car unless there's a big mistake by either of them. There's no point in putting his car in that mix and, you know, taking that chance of buggering up for himself. So he's doing what I'd probably do. Others might be different, but yeah.
I think as well, he doesn't want to have to risk not only throwing away his own top 10, but throwing away 2 other drivers' top 10 finishes as well if a mistake's made. And I think he's biding his time, as we said. He's not trying to be too aggressive. And for Kokoschki and Weston, this is heated enough as it is. And you add another car into the mix, and it almost becomes nuclear. And then at that point, that's when obviously mistakes get made and issues begin to happen as well. 3 laps to go for the race leader, Alex Kiddis, who has just crossed the line. Kikoshi got it real loose in towards turn 14. That'll allow Scott Weston to get right on his outside. Can he hang on to this thing? Watch for Boardman as well to pick up on the mistake. Yeah, he's forced on the outside is Weston. Kikoski's going to drag race him down towards turn 1. He keeps the position and holds onto it. Can Boardman take advantage now? Didn't quite get the exit that he needed. He'll have to wait for another opportunity.
Weston's not done, though. Weston is looking on the inside of Kikoski. He puts the car up about halfway along the side of him. Doesn't get the move done. So that came very, very close. But same again, Boardman still in that box seat. I think he did well then. He had a look at going with Kikoski when Weston had a bit of a look there. But no, good, smart play.
Well, he's waiting and biding his time
another day
as they come through turn 4 once again. Scott Weston is right on the heels of Stephen Kikoski for what has been a breakout race for him here tonight through qualifying on the pole position. A little bit of a touch on the rear end, got balked up right on the apex. Great move from Kikoski in a defensive mindset right now. It's exactly what he needs to do to try and hold him back, ruin the run through the corner, and he cannot get back at you again. With 2 laps to go when they cross the line, he is running out of chances, is Scott Weston, to get this job done over the Südspeed entry of Kikoski.
My worry for Weston is he just putting too much heat into these tyres and he's going to sort of lose out in the last couple of laps where he might need a bit more. And this might be where Boardman takes advantage. If Weston keeps pushing the way he is and can't get past Kikoski, he's definitely, like we've talked about before, he's in the box seat to do something with it.
I think about the differential now as well on strategies. Kikoski had come in on lap 18. Weston came in on lap 28. Boardman came in on 24. So it's an even split pretty much of 6 laps and 4 laps of the differences of tyres. And there's 10 laps difference between Weston's and Kikoski's. So Weston's got the better rubber under him at the moment, but Kikoski's got the better raw pace on a defensive line, and it's what's making Weston struggle right now.
But I think Weston is using that up, and I think Boardman is going to just watch out for Boardman. I think he's got something in the tank here, and he's now seeing the little bit of gap between Kikoski and Weston, and he might start and put some pressure on Weston.
Well, if he puts pressure on him, they may lose sight of Kikoski, and then you've got to think about, well, how can I stay in this thing? I might have to just maintain the position I'm in of P9, and P8 may be gone from me, but don't be disappointed by that prospect because it's been a fantastic race thus far. Real loose. So he's riding those rears so hard that they're just starting to overheat now. And the heat that's been applied into them is starting to really come back and bite him in terms of how much he's been attacking that Mustang ahead of him here. I've also noticed as well, Brett, we've got a battle here for P3. Craig Friend has caught up to the back of Paul Burns. So this is going to be an almighty white flag lap for quite a few drivers. Burns and Friends are going to battle it away. Weston, Boardman and Randall are going to battle. Kikoski, Weston and Boardman. Randall, Stoyles and Fisher are going to battle away for their position too. So it's all on the line. It's white flag for Alex Kiddis. 1 lap away from winning his first race in Split 2. He's done a total of 1.5 seasons here with us in Split 2 since coming up in season 25. He's taken multiple pole positions, but he's never taken a race win. His biggest chance was last season, Watkins Glen for the full circuit, where it was thrown away in a single mistake when he was battling with eventual race winner Tim Mulford. And as he comes down towards turn 5, he has got half a lap before he is going to be a race winner here in Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya here this evening in what has been a phenomenal drive. Burns has started to run away from Craig Friend now in P3. And Weston has got Boardman hot on his heels in this battle for P8 with Kikoski just ahead of them as well. It's been a spectacular night.
And I've closed back up on Tanik. I think Tanik was doing some fuel saving. So I've closed up on Tanik. I don't know whether I can do it. I actually know whether I can or cannot do it. But anyway. But yeah, Friends out to nearly a second now, so that's starting to simmer off.
There's only a handful of corners to go for him, as Alex Kiddis will come through turn 13 and 14 and 15 as well. Perfection personified tonight, cleanliness personified as well. It's been a long time coming for him. One of the fastest drivers in Split 2. Alex Kiddis of Old Maiden Sons takes his first win at Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. He is the Spanish Inquisition this season as he takes the win of the Balin Stewart round. Race to go, he will come home, and another podium for himself for SLS Racing. And Paul Burns up 16 positions for 801 Simsports. He'll finish it out on the podium ahead of Craig Friend, Joel Usaval inside of the top 5. Bruce Tannick gets it loose off turn 16, but he'll come home in P6. It's then Brett Fisher in P7 and Stephen Kokoschki. What a comeback drive tonight. Back into P8. What a comeback drive for Weston into P9. And what a drive for James Boardman, up 21 into his first top 10 finish in Split 2 in over 18 months. A great effort. Randall, Stoyles, Fisher, Clifton and Buckland in the top 15. Manuel, Cesar, Hedesheed, Viger, Taylor the top 20. Then it's Viger, Horsell, Jones, Brook and Blanchard the top 25. Bush, McKenzie, Lovegrove, Cullen, Allen, Monday, Baxter, McCune, Clark, Duggan and Hoffman made up the racing order. But it is a race win for Alex Kiddis. Could it be a resurgence for his championship? Well, he might have to win a couple more to really sink his teeth into a championship trophy and possibly into getting some gold fillings this season.
Yeah, that was a great race by Kiddis. He's done exceptionally well, as you said, supporting the Balin Stewart Foundation. Had some great liveries out there for all that sort of stuff, so that's really, really well. Also, a fantastic effort from Damon too. You know, he had a drive-through and still finished in 13th, so that's a pretty good effort. That he did drop down 9 positions, but I think that to salvage his race, that wasn't too bad at all. What a great race from Kokoschki. You know, he was right in that. What a fantastic race that was there between himself, Weston and Boardman.
Well, as we get these written out for everyone in the chat, for our Driver of the Day Award nomination, we only want to see these names as your vote. 1 vote per channel. Paul Burns, Stephen Kokoschki, Scott Weston or James Boardman. Which do you think was the best performance tonight, through whether it was cleanliness, whether it was through a comeback, whether it was through true grit, or whether it was through determination or even smart driving as well? Give us your thoughts on who you think the driver of the day was for round 4 of season 26 here at Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. The race highlights for you here for race 4 of the season, and it all started on the start-finish line with this horrendous start from Stephen Kokoschki, who just lit it up on the start line, wet side of the road, absolutely no grip whatsoever, and that dropped him so far, few in between, down the order. He didn't even know what to do before he realised what happened. And then we had this moment at turn 1 as well. Matt Monday involved in this for our first incident of the night. Hooked up, bit of net code there with Hedesheed and into the front of Brett Horsell as well. So an unfortunate moment there for Monday. That just made it even worse. And then Kokoschki as well. His start couldn't have been worse, but this just compounded it even more so into the sand for Kokoschki up at turn 4. Hedesheed as well, battling away with one of the Vigers up there at turn 3. Came across the nose of Todd Duggan and around he went in a massive incident up there. We saw the back end of it.
Ooh.
It was a very awkward one. Andrew Hoffman was involved in that too, I do believe, and I think Sean Cullen was as well. Yes, he was. We also had this moment here as well with Phil Manuel and Ron Allen, who got loose off of turn 5 and it just launched it into the side of Manuel's car. Nowhere to go for him, unfortunately. And he was caught out in the weeds on that one there. Chad Viger as well got involved in this moment down at turn 10 as he was trying to get past Phil Manuel. Under brakes, massive lock-up, contacts made, and off the road he goes. And then we also saw this moment here from Tanek. We called it out live on the broadcast, actually. Move up the inside on the wet line on Shane Randall, and he couldn't quite get it pulled up, and off she went into the painted area. Nowhere to go, sunshine. And there he was. And then this one here, well, we just saw the dying embers of it before with Viger, but then it got even worse for Manuel as he came around the corner, because as he came around, he caught the sausage curb, and around she went. So it was just a compound of moments, and a massive, and look there, look there, James Boardman just coming through, avoiding everything. Same thing for a couple of the other drivers as well.
Parting the ways.
Just parting the seas for them, really. Scott McCune too, he was in this too. Let's watch this from his perspective, actually, because this was quite large. So there goes Viger off to the left of the screen. Tanek's off the road. And then there goes Manuel. Bush is pulled up. He tries to go around him, and round she goes.
Oh, nearly, but not quite.
No,
It's funny,
quite.
some of those times when you come through those instances, you go, I've got through, and then you, unfortunately, just get tagged around.
And Pete Baxter as well, caught up in this moment up at turn 3, hooked up with, I think that might have been Mr. Hoffman that sent him round up there. An unfortunate moment for him earlier on in the night. Brett Taylor as well, we saw him parked up at the exit of turn 10. This is how this ended up for him in this one. Around she goes. So an unfortunate moment there for Mr. Brett Taylor. And then everything else that really went on in that race, Brett was more or less battling stuff that happened. I mean, Gary Buckley there got caught up in something, but it got really clean after around about lap 10 because everyone was kind of just settling into their rhythm and settled into...
And the track started to drive out. Oh, Gary!
There's that moment there for Gary, and then this was pretty much the last big one of a little Cesar down at turn 10, where he changed his throttle mapping on the entry to the corner, caught the curb on the outside, and round she went, very similarly to Phil Manuel only a few laps earlier. It's a tough one for here tonight, but aside from that, everyone else, a solid finish in the end, and for Alex Kiddis, it is a race win.
You'd be happy with that. Put that one in the bank. Get that monkey off your back.
We've only had one vote for driver of the day tonight.
Come on, kids.
Get your votes in there. I know we were running through the highlights, but come on, get your votes in for driver of the day, please. We don't want it to be a one-vote scenario. I thought all 4 of them deserved the nomination, honestly. And you know what? Huge shout out to guys like Osterwald and Buckland as well. Both those guys drove a great race as well, Brett. I think the intensity of that battle for P8 in the end, and the drive from Burns as well, all 4 of them deserved a nomination tonight.
Definitely, yep. Come on, couple more votes. Come on, let's make it worthwhile.
While we wait for more votes, let's have a quick look at our race results here this evening. It was Alex Kiddis ahead of Reese DeGoey and Paul Burns on the podium tonight. Craig Friend, Joel Oosterwald in the top 5. Bruce Tanek, Brett Fisher, Stephen Kokoschke, the top 8. Scott Weston, James Boardman inside of the top 10. Shane Randall, Matt Stoyles ahead of Damon Fisher, Mick Clifton and Gary Buckland for our top 15. Phil Manuel, Halil Cesar, Simon Hedesheed, Rick Viger and Brett Taylor for the top 20 cars in the end there. As we look back to Chad Viger, Brett Horsell, Michael Jones, Ben Brook and Chris Blanchard for the top 25. Jeremy Bush, Scott McKenzie, Derek Lovegrove, Sean Cullen and Ron Allen will make up our top 30 cars. Matt Monday ahead of Pete Baxter, Scott McCune, Roy Clark, Todd Duggan and Andrew Hoffman at the back end of the field here this evening. And a big thank you to our racing trolls once again. Brent O'Brien, Lucas Burt, our safety car driver, and Todd Martin as well. Oh, great. It's been tied up now, Brett. It's been tied up.
Oh, gotta love it, don't you?
All right.
Gotta love it.
All right, Brett. Out of Paul Burns and Scott Weston, who do you think deserves it more?
Uh, I going to go Paul Burns.
Okay. All right. Well,
Sorry, Scotty.
Tonight's Driver of the Day award goes to P3 on the road for 801 Sim Racing, Paul Burns. Congratulations of being the driver of the day for round 4 of season 26. That 110 Camaro on the podium, up 16. Phenomenal effort from Paul. And congratulations to you, sir, on a great, great drive here at Circuit de Barcelona Catalunya. But, ladies and gentlemen, that will round us out for the evening. A massive thank you to everyone who has watched along with us as well across the process here tonight and across the first few rounds of the season as well. We hope you've been enjoying the show thus far in season 26, and with many more still to come throughout this season, you've got much more racing action to come your way as well. Next time out for round 5, we head out to the wondrous Canadian Tire Motorsports Park for Mosport in round 5 of season 26. 250 Ks, 60 odd laps of what is bound to be a fantastic race for the midway point of the season. Thank you to everyone who's joined us once again. Big thank you to all the series sponsors, including the title sponsors, Racekraft Simulations, Logitech G, Parramatta Isuzu Ute, Player One Sim Gear, Nova Simsports, Südspeed Gloves, LGC Images, and M1 Used Cars for the Driver of the Day award, which went the way of Paul Burns tonight. Next time out, it could go to you, Mr. Weston. You are totally fine. Good, sir. It is okay that you forgot to leave the livery on there. It's no worries at all. All is forgiven and all is no dramas. But next time at Mosport, Brett, it's going to be intense. It's going to be tough. At a very old school, tight circuit, it's anyone's game, but this could be a race for safety car supremacy.
Ooh. Could do. But we're also building up towards halfway through this series, and the race for the title is on. It's getting tighter, and things are moving around. Who is going to take out this season 26? We yet to find out. Are we going to find any dominance in the latter half of this series? You know, so all will be revealed as the time ticks on. But exciting stuff. I feel the pressure cooker is starting to be turned on, and we've got it on simmer.
Well, we have got it on simmer, and we look forward to what's to come next week for round 5. If you guys want to help support us here on the V8 Veterans channel, we'll be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon too, so you're notified whenever we go racing right here on the Vets channel with the Split 2, Split 3 and Split 4 action as well. Go and support Simspeed TV to go check out the live action 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time on Thursday evenings of Split 1 as well. If you're watching over on Infinity Broadcasting, or even if you're on the Vets channel, go over to Infinity Broadcasting, hit the like button, the subscribe, the bell icon over there as well, so you're notified whenever we go racing on the channel. Next up on your docket, Monday morning, 11:50 a.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. We're going racing once again on the high side with High Side Motorsports as the in-season tournament continues for Season 1 as we head out to Las Vegas Motor Speedway in the Gen 6 Cup cars once again. And then following that on Tuesday evening, 6:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time, we go racing once again with the replay broadcast of the VRS Porsche Cup Series for Season 4. No, we're not actually. I do apologise. We're not racing the Porsches next week because it's Australia Day on Monday, and that series is not racing next week. So, in fact, after that, we'll be at Mosport for Veterans on Saturday evening, 8:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Massive thank you to everyone who's joined us here this evening, and thank you to all who got into the chat as well. We hope to see you next time we head out to Mosport. But I've been Hamish Munro Brett Fisher alongside. Thanks for your time. Thanks for being here with us once again. And until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
Screaming, tires bleeding, virtual cubes, the motor's breathing, engine thunder from down under, listen fire, turn asunder, put your name in lights. Oh, with the Vets tonight, it's a 1,000 decibel supercar fight, burn this track to the ground with V8 sound. But the
The Racing Series is a new milestone in Logitech G.
All the great old wheels, the G29, the G920, the G923, they all have their own unique way of connecting to each other, but there's no room for expansion with those products.
So the question arose was, what if we were to give the opportunity for the racer to switch out from a drifting wheel to a GT rim?
With the wheel hubs that we've created, that's got a very specific button set, but you can replace any of the steering wheels.
And the real lovely aspect to this was we could give the user, driver and the racer the opportunity to experience different genres of race.
That allows drivers to craft high quality, customized setups that resonate with your individual racing style.
When we start with the design, we always start sketching. Very often, once we've got sketches, we start discussing with engineering.
We had 3 rounds of engineering testing or user testing where we invited in users from sim racing, and every single round of feedback we refine, the product based on what they tell us.
In the sim racing lab, again, we're going to use data to really analyze what a driver needs. We've used everything from eye tracking to the inputs from the pedals, the inputs from the, let's just say, input devices, the wheel and the pedals, the shifter. We're taking that and we're compiling it so that we can build different products based on those individuals' needs for all consumers and all drivers.
I don't know of anyone else in the industry that's actually doing this kind of research into their products to see how their products are affecting performance of their users.
We've built the product to make sure that it's as reliable as possible.
So the innovations in engineering that I'd say we're most proud of is the sequential handbrake and shifter toolless changeover. This is now a patented system, so it's really easy for the user to just switch between modes.
If you give people the tools to do what they want, they will.
They will just go off and have fun.
Introducing the Racekraft PT1, custom-built full chassis racing simulator. The design project, codenamed The Cage, an 80/40 extrusion chassis sitting on top of a Sigma Integrale DK2 Plus 4-point full motion actuator system. No compromises in the cockpit of the PT1 simulator. To maximize the experience, we start with the 49-inch ultra-wide monitor for the greatest field of view in a small footprint of the simulator, down to the SimuCube wheelbase that's tucked up and behind the monitors with SimCore extensions to get things out of the driving area. Everything is connected to a Cube Controls GTX steering wheel with the built-in dash and all the extra button functions available at your fingertips. Driving through the Raceworks S1 pedals, the potentiometer throttle and the 2 hydraulic pedals for brake and clutch ensures you maximize the feel underfoot, and seating yourself into an OMP HTER bucket racing seat with OMP belts connected to a G-belt tensioner to provide that extra feeling and the heightened experience while you're driving. Additional interfaces and accessories in the PT1, we have twin butt kickers, one on either side of the OMP seat, as well as a Jinx sequential shifter, the SimPush Race Logic timer to the left-hand side, a Racekraft built-in WinSim kit with Philips Hue lighting and a built-in soundbar, plus the OMP side net to finish off the experience in the PT1. The Racekraft PT1, build number 1, the ultimate in sim racing experience, combining the best products in the market with the passionate, no compromise approach that goes beyond racing simulation.
Come on, you're looking good for a podium. All right, clear right.